It is a common misconception to believe that the most grievous crimes and murders are exclusive to our contemporary era. Regrettably, throughout history, humanity has demonstrated the capacity for tragic and horrifying acts. In the late 1800s, the city of Poitiers in western France became the setting for one such crime. If you have perused the internet, chances are you are familiar not only with the incident, but have also encountered images associated with it. In this narrative, we delve into the harrowing tale of Blanche Moniere, recounting the years of torment and isolation inflicted upon her by her own family. In 1879, the patriarch of the Moniere family, Emile Moniere, passed away, leaving his wife Louise to navigate the responsibilities of raising their two children, Marcel and Blanche. Despite the public recognition Louise received in Poitiers for her charitable endeavours behind closed doors, she was a stern matriarch. Her disciplined parenting, driven by a desire to uphold the family's influence, power, and wealth, began to yield positive results. Marcel successfully completed law school and emerged as a devoted son, eventually holding a position in public office. Blanche, too, blossomed into a respected and admirable young woman. Described as a joyful individual with a cascade of beautiful hair and captivating eyes, she became a sought-after presence in town. Blessed with both looks and the family's wealth, Blanche had the opportunity to choose a suitor from among the town's eligible men. Leveraging her charm and family connections, she strategically considered potential matches who could not only secure her future, but also enhance the Moniere family's influence in the community. Although Madame Moniere's intention was for Blanche to marry a wealthy suitor from a powerful family, her daughter had different aspirations. At the age of 25, Blanche encountered an older gentleman for whom she felt an instant and intense attraction. Despite his profession as an attorney, a position associated with wealth and influence, the man was not particularly successful. Fearing her mother's inevitable disapproval and scorn, Blanche chose to keep their relationship clandestine. Eventually, through town gossip, news of the affair reached Madame Moniere, who strongly disapproved and insisted that her daughter end the relationship. Defying her mother's wishes, Blanche not only refused but also revealed her plans to marry the less affluent lawyer to her circle of friends. As the scandalous marriage approached, the day loomed closer, yet Blanche mysteriously disappeared. Several days after her absence, the public grew increasingly agitated, prompting inquiries into the Moniere family's whereabouts. Madame Moniere, feeling the pressure, eventually released a statement. She asserted that Blanche had fallen victim to insanity. Instead of subjecting her to the harsh conditions of a brutal asylum, the family decided to keep her within the confines of their home. This, they argued, would ensure her comfort and address her every need. Leveraging the Moniere family's esteemed reputation for generosity and benevolence, the people of Poitiers accepted this explanation eagerly and moved forward. One known to everyone else, Blanche was destined for a grim fate. As time passed relentlessly, days merging into months and then into years, Blanche remained hidden from the public eye, gradually fading from the collective memory of the people in Poitiers. The turning point came 8 years after Blanche's initial seclusion, when a curious neighbour ventured out for a late-night stroll. While passing by the Moniere's residence, the neighbour reportedly caught the haunting sound of wailing emanating from a small attic window. The anguished cries, unmistakably a woman's, echoed through the silent night, accompanied by desperate pleas. According to a subsequent newspaper article, the voice lamented, "Oh God, when will they set me free? Why am I imprisoned here? I am suffering the tortures of the damned." Deeply concerned, the man confronted the Moniere family the next day, questioning them about Blanche's well-being. Madame Moniere swiftly allayed his fears, attributing Blanche's distress to a severe deterioration in her mental state, resulting in hallucinations and delusions. Marcel, now holding a prominent public office position, supported his mother's account. Satisfied with their explanation, the neighbour left the Moniere's residence without harbouring any suspicions. In response to this incident, Marcel promptly sealed off the small attic window, not only silencing Blanche but also robbing her of the last vestiges of sunlight, condemning her to 12 more years of darkness. During Blanche's period of seclusion, her prospective fiancé, a destitute lawyer, unexpectedly passed away. With his demise, the primary connection between Blanche's narrative and the public was severed, causing her to fade from public memory. The elderly maid, responsible for tending to Blanche's needs, and health throughout her confinement, retired after fulfilling her duties. Two inexperienced young women were subsequently hired as her replacements, unaware of the grim reality that awaited them. Upon encountering Blanche for the first time, the new caretakers were horrified by the shocking sight before them. In 1901, one of the women, deeply disturbed by Blanche's deplorable condition, penned an anonymous message to the Attorney General. Dear Attorney General, I bring to your attention an exceedingly grave matter. I am referring to a solitary woman who has been confined within Madame Moniere's residence, enduring half-starvation and subsisting in her own filth for the past 25 years. The authorities, taken aback by the letter, promptly rushed to the Moniere household, encountering resistance from Madame Moniere and Marcel. Despite the obstacles, they persevered and gained access to the attic, where an unimaginable scene awaited them. Enclosed in the attic was the remnants of the once vibrant and joyful Blanche Moniere, now 50 years old and reduced to a skeletal figure. A policeman present at the scene later recounted. The unfortunate woman lay bare on a decaying straw mattress, surrounded by a crust of excrement, decomposed food, oyster shells, and crawling bugs. The air was so noxious and the stench so overpowering that we could not endure it to continue our investigation any longer. Marcel Moniere and his mother were swiftly apprehended, while Blanche was urgently transported to a hospital. Upon her arrival, it became apparent that Blanche Moniere weighed a mere 55 pounds. It was at this medical facility that a chilling photograph, capturing Blanche's shockingly emaciated and unkempt state, was taken. The contemporaneous newspaper described the image vividly. Her face appears chiseled in stone, with skin tightly stretched over finely sculpted bone structure. Her body, pale and devoid of blood, features arms and limbs that are incredibly thin. Regrettably, Blanche's afflictions were not solely physical. The prolonged isolation had profoundly affected her mental well-being, leading to a significant loss of speech and subsequent diagnoses of anorexia nervosa, schizophrenia, exhibitionism, and coprophilia. While she eventually experienced a physical recovery during her time in a local mental institution, Blanche never regained her mental health and succumbed to her ailments a decade later. Contrastingly, the perpetrators of this horrific ordeal, her family members, escaped substantial consequences. Madame Moniere, in her 70s and suffering from heart disease at the time of her arrest, passed away 15 days later while in custody, never facing trial for the torment inflicted upon her daughter. Marcel Moniere exploited his influential position and legal technicalities to evade accountability. He asserted that his nearsightedness prevented him from recognizing the true state of his sister's living conditions and suggested that Blanche could have left the house if she wished. Unfortunately, Marcel was acquitted, returning home to his job mansion and family without facing repercussions for his complicity in the kidnapping and abuse of his sister. Not only did he escape any repercussions, but with the demise of his mother and Blanche's incapacitation, Marcel emerged as the sole heir to his family's wealth and estate. This case serves as a glaring example of the failures within the justice system. All we can aspire to is that under our modern laws, Marcel would have faced consequences for his role in his sister's imprisonment. While it appears evident that Madame Moniere initially concealed her daughter due to greed and her aversion to Blanche marrying the lawyer, questions arise as to why she continued to imprison Blanche after the lawyer's death. Was Madame Moniere, too, entangled at that point to risk reintegrating Blanche into society? Or had she driven Blanche to such a state of madness that she saw no reason to abandon her deceit? Some speculate that Madame Moniere's strong religious beliefs may have influenced her extreme reaction to Blanche's marriage plans. This aligns with rumours of Blanche's alleged pregnancy, a scandal that Madame Moniere may have been unwilling to endure in the societal norms of the 1800s. However, the true motivations behind Madame Moniere's dark actions remain elusive. In hindsight, it becomes glaringly apparent that Marcel stood to gain from the entire ordeal. He likely endorsed his mother's reprehensible plan, knowing it would either disinherit Blanche or lead to her demise, leaving him with everything upon their mother's passing. These two individuals are a chilling testament to the lengths to which greed and power can drive someone, compelling them to torment another person for nearly 3 decades. Regrettably, This concludes the story of Blanche Moniere, the woman locked away for 25 years. Share your thoughts on this case or suggest other topics for our future videos in the comments below. Thank you for watching, and we look forward to seeing you in the next one.